So welcome everyone to the third round of PRL here in Mexico. This 18-minute long qualifying session followed by a 50% race. We're waiting for the drivers to ready up. Let me pause the... Let everyone, this stream is up and running. Is it let me check if it is working in the stream, the audio. Okay. Can you hear yourself? Checking options.
Yes, I can hear myself now.
If there is any way you can enable the include your audio button. Because some people also reported that button is missing, doesn't show up anymore.
Yeah. Well, I can hear myself now.
Okay. Right then. So we wait for the session to start. We're in Mexico, as we said. 18 minutes of qualifying, followed by 36 laps, 50% race. Third round. Mexico last season went, I would say, good. Although we had most, looking at last season, the races I commentated were good. I don't know what about season 1. Season 2, round 3 onwards, the races were pretty good. We saw how the season turned out to be with the standings. And now we get back here in Mexico. Last season, this featured someone going round, and then a few other crashes that made the race a bit more challenging for those still driving. But hopefully today we'll be able to see some more action into this Autodromo Jimenez Rodriguez. Samras, what are you looking for to this race?
I just really want to see the fun battles between all the drivers.
Yeah. Though first we'll have to sit through 80 minutes long qualifying session to see who will take the pole position and start first in the race. Gonna be interesting to see who will actually be able to. We saw some drivers are good enough to get the pole position. We saw Yurka Guy, Vincent, Slosek, Bonsai. Unfortunately, I couldn't commentate last week's Grand Prix due to personal issues, but yeah. Hopefully today will go well. That's what we can hope. Make sure to get involved in the chat as well. give us your predictions or comment on them. Yeah,
So yeah, after the second break, that's it. Yeah, after the second race, is Mercedes driving.
yeah, I can see the C2 standings.
And Jordan is
It's quite good for him, but considering last season he tried to take that title but couldn't attend the last round. It was pretty good, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, it's unanimous saying Alfa Romeo may be on top today, predicting that this Mexican Grand Prix. Well, so Vincent was quite good in Bahrain. Kent, I didn't know how last week's race went, but from Bahrain I remember there was quite some drivers who were pretty quick to get that win and an eventual podium. But yeah, drivers like Vincent, Yoka Guy, Sorsek, Jordi, and so
we
on.
now have a full grid. Oh wait, do we? Or is that just another spectator?
I know.
1, 2, 4, 6. Yep, we're missing one McLaren.
Yeah.
Well done.
So let's review.
Nice.
Right now, though we're reading up. Yeah, right now we have Mercedes, Jordi and Phantom, Red Bull, Matt Roller and Facet Spring, Henny and Hungarilla in McLaren, Skidert and Thone Globe in Aston Martin, Short Circuit and XII Aston in Alpine, Big Boy Yokogai in Ferrari, John and Lamsos in AlphaTauri, Vincent and Rev in Alfa Romeo, Solskjaer and Gilbert in Haas, and Bonsai and Bisdegno in Williams. That's the lineups for today's Grand Prix. For grid, let's see who is gonna take the pole position for this qualifying session to then proceed with a 50% race, 36 laps. For the Autodromo Jimenez Rodriguez. Okay, let's wait for the timer to run out and we'll be right on track. Here we are then. Gonna be really interesting today. See what the drivers can do. It's gonna be interesting to see if if lap 1 will represent last season's race or not. We'll have more action as we see some going out already. Who's Big Boy? Actually, Yuruka guy going out, being the first one to leave the pits. And his Ferrari on softs. Some drivers are already going on mediums. Zolczak, Young, and Vincent. Well, the rest of the grid staying on softs for now. It's gonna be quite an exciting session, I believe. 80 minutes after all to decide who will take the pole position. So far we have 6 people, actually, yeah, 6 people on track, with more going out as we speak. First one to settle up though will be Yukagai as he proceeds to cross the sector 2, the end of sector 2, and proceed to prepare himself for heat up in this session. I think we'll have some traffic going on to the last corner. Looks like I already retired. Meanwhile, what happened in the middle of the track? That's not a good start for the Alpine driver. Not at all, I would say. Yokugai in sector 1 meanwhile. Some selection from the AlphaTauri ahead. GIS by the opens. And he validates turn 3. Next to set to fill up will be that roller. Up. Roll up with yeah, I mean, we saw what those drivers can do. It's definitely more closer than last season, because it's just the start of the season. We have to wait to judge whether it actually is or not. But yeah, Mirola will set the provisional pole position time at the moment. Well, that with 118.061 gets beaten by Vincent on mediums with a 117.684. That's quite good for Vincent. Though it can be improved. He's a mediums after all. We'll go on board with them. See if gonna be interesting. Gonna be interesting to see whether Jordi will set the pole position today or someone else will. So now most of the drivers are on their out laps. And as you expected Gilbert to do quite well today. He's set the current provisional pole position time 116.470. Some slipstream from the McLaren ahead as well. So proceeds to complete their lap. Lamso's in third meanwhile.
It's 116.3.
Quite close to Gibert's one. So as it stands, we have Jordi in pole position, on a pole position, Gilbert in second, Bonza in third, Lamsos in fourth, Merrill in fifth, Vincent in sixth, Skidert in seventh, and Yonk in eighth, with many more drivers setting their laps as we speak. He's setting one as he loses it. Luckily, no DNF, but he lost his right end plate. The S's are quite of an issue for some drivers on this track. Also track limits. I believe that. Yeah, we'll see if the race can give us an overview on how the drivers can perform here as well.
Mercedes in fact has no front wing.
Yeah, some drivers are struggling for sure. However, there's still much time left to set laps, so I would say perhaps they're practicing. Wait, not that many drivers on mediums after all. Let's see. Seems like two Mercedes. Yeah. They had quite of a niche in entering the pits.
Two Williams crashing into each other all time.
They're both on their outlaps as well. His teammates follows behind. Yeah.
Yep, they both have round.
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah, one's like
yeah, both has in the top 3 right now. The gap between them is not that big either. It's a few tenths separate them. Thunglow in 5th.
your local guy doesn't look like
What Thunglow sets the 5th fastest lap, 117.012. Guy tries to set up validated. He has only 30% ERS. He sets the bubble sector. Yeah. And he splits. Damages his whole front wing as well. He will have not going well for him in this qualifying session. 8 minutes remaining as well, so he may have some time, but will be tied. So he tries to. Yeah. Just loses it. It's a 28.7 in Sector 1, proceeds to go into Sector 2. The Spring now 118.7 in 13th. We have some other drivers setting laps right now. Speedit improves to 5th, 116.7. Big Boy invalidates like his teammate earlier. The pin of Arson now starts the fastest lap. It's gonna look interesting to the end of this qualifying session. So we have Volskuller, the provisional pole sitter. We have a few yellow flags in Sector 1 for young letting faster cars pass. That was saying Geordie in 2nd, Giba in third, Vincent now in second on a 116.3, just a few hundreds ahead of Jordi. Then Giba in fourth, Bonza in fifth, Skijit and Zone Globe, the two Aston Martins in sixth and seventh, Matt Roller in eighth, Lamsos in ninth, the two McLarens in 10th and 11th respectively, Yonk in 12th and Facey Spring in 13th. The gap between between the top 7 now, it's really close, as Angarilla now sets a P 116.394, putting himself in 4th, and Skijit with that provisional pole position time, 116.0 he goes. That's quite good. And Arson went 9th fastest with a 116.553. This will be definitely a close race. Meanwhile, Georgie is trying to improve the lap. So he sets up Barber sector 2. He comes around the last few corners. That's quite a good improvement. 115.831 puts him back to in the provisional pole position. 5 minutes left for drivers to try and get that back. There's just 2 tenths between Skijit and Jordi, and then we go down the order and it increases. Phantom in 14th, meanwhile, it invalidates the lap again, 117.313. Furukaga is also setting a lap right now. Will they be able to beat Jordi? Because they were pretty close in Bahrain. But unfortunately they couldn't get that first place. And Furukaga invalidates again. Not good for the Ferrari driver at all.
That could affect his place in the driver.
Yeah.
But he does have I just don't think he has the right setup.
Yeah.
Local now starts around turn 1. Turn 3 and he's validated once again.
He does not have enough time to set another lap. He may have low not that much of fuel to set a few more laps. So Virginia.
Yeah.
So that gives Zorczak some luck then. DNF, but still starts not less. Unless those two set a lap before the timer runs out. Georgie and Skijit never mind, Skijit bit, but Georgie's an on-out lap. I think one to improve the lap. Henny in third, meanwhile.
Round turn 1. Round turn 2. Round turn 3. Down the second straight. Into turn 4. Turn 5. It's good luck so far. Good luck second first. Good luck. Could put him up soon.
Meanwhile, Yuga went 6th fastest with a 116.3, so he managed to set a lap. Zinho is left with no lap. And Phantom invalidates. He has one more chance to set a good lap before this session ends. Now or never, I'd say. As Zinho set to went 3rd fastest, 116.1, but no one managed to beat Joe this time, to go below 116 so far, and Phantom invalidates, and that's the end of his qualifying session.
So, as Jordan won
What a lap that was! If Georgie didn't improve, Yukagai would be on pole right now. But as Georgie improved to a 1:15.268, he is the pole sitter for your Mexican Grand Prix, followed by Yukagai in 2nd, who improved at last minute, and Skidget in 3rd.
Oh, does he? No, does not. Really goes up to 3rd.
The McLaren's looking. They're looking strong in quality.
Goes up to 30, and that is the end of the point here.
The McLaren's though did a really good job. 3-4 for them. Wouldn't expect that, but that's gonna.
Mercedes really hard.
Yeah. That's gonna be an interesting race for sure now with this grid. That's your starting grid.
Hopefully, there's not that many crashes.
Yeah, indeed. So starting grid for the race, Georgie takes the pole position, followed by Yukagai, Hungarilla, Henny Island, Skidget, Vizinho, Bonsai, Sportskiller, Vincent, Big Boy, G-Bear, Arsin, Yonk, Thunglo, Metrola, Lamsos, Phantom, Rev, Facing Spring, and Sortsek, who unfortunately DNF on his first outlap at the first few minutes of the qualifying session. But let's go on to the race. 36 laps of racing around Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. This will be going well, and we may see a chaotic first lap, but only the drivers will choose whether to recreate last season's first lap or not. Wait for the drivers to ready up. So I reckon we'll see some battling between Yukagai and Geordie like in Bahrain, for sure. However, let's not underestimate the two McLarens and the rest of the top 10. So we may see some jumps in that top 10 by some drivers at the back. So we do not know what Sec may be able to do as well. So now going underway with the formation lap. We have the predicted pit stop strategy. Looks like to be a 2-stop for everyone except for Phantom. I don't know what about Sec. Yeah, Phantom decided to start on hard, so maybe, yeah, going for a 1-stop. Lemsos gets disqualified as a result of colliding with someone. As Hungary and Xi collide and get disqualified from the formation lap. Nice start to the formation lap. As what happened?
Oh, where's...
It's glitching for me. Why is the Ferrari and a Williams going? You see them on the minimap. What is going on? Well, hopefully we don't have to restart. I hope so. Sadie Spring and Big Boy now get disqualified. They were ahead of everyone. Yeah. Quite unusual to see. Top 10 then starts on softs, as well as most of the drivers. The only ones who decided to go for mediums are Thorn Globe and Lamsize, and then Phantom on hard, who apparently is going for a 1-stop. As Jordi now approaches the grid, as well as the rest of the pack. Wonder why we got so many disqualifications from the formation lap, but let's see how this start will go. Good luck to everyone. Let's enjoy those 36 laps. So we wait for the race to begin. And there we go. 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. Vincent gets us right through as it's like 7. Away we go. Jordi gets a great start. Ayuka already tailing behind him. Angarilla sucking the Ferrari driver. And as we go back down the pack, we have Metrola who hasn't started. Yet as we go into turn 1. 4 wide at turn 1. We have yeah. That's been from Henny. Jordi's wide and Hung. What a start for him. We have quite some muddling at the back as well. The two has guys who are battling with the Alfa Romeo of Rev, who's getting sandwiched between the two cars. Wolczak now gets up to P10 from P20 to P10. I wonder what happened to Maryland though. As Phantom spun, Monza gets 3 seconds for track limits. Okay, what a bad start for the Ferrari driver. Lost his wing, part of his wing. That's a bad start for him. In fact, he's going to pit. Actually cuts through the... and can't get back into the pits. I think he was misbraking. But what a bad start for him. Meanwhile, he's seemingly battling with Monza for the 6th place. So he goes a bit wide. Phantom gets 5 seconds of spinning in the pit lane. But yeah. And he got dropped to P15. Meanwhile, Jordi keeps the lead. Skidget in 2nd. Hungurilla in 3rd. Monza against the delays on 6th on Big Boy, as well as Rev, who took advantage of Big Boy going wide to gain the place. Seems like Big Boy has some damage to deal with as well. Oh, and that's a big crash from Rev, who spins out like Swolstek in qualifying and brings out a possible, maybe not, yeah, no, no, yeah, thought there could have been a safety car, but yeah, S gets enabled as well. That's not good for Vincent. And he gets 5 seconds spinning in the pit lane as well. Yeah, for jumping the start. Oh, and Yonkins Wolfskiller had contacted turn 2, and that makes Wolfskiller spin and lose some places. Yeah, I can't see the gaps as they have to be updated, but what a start from Hangarila. Not quite for his teammate, but he may be able to bounce back. They have had a pretty good start being 4th and 5th. However, that's G-Bear behind. He's looking. G-Bear behind, looking to gain the place on Virginia, though he has more speed and has to stay back at the moment. Three wide at turn 4 as Virginia tries to go for a late move. They make contact. Gibber has to... What has happened between... What happened? Yeah, retires on track and is quite a obstacle to other drivers. Virginia retires. What is happening in this Mexican Grand Prix? What is going on? The safety car. For me, everyone is leaving the session. It may have been. I had this yesterday in a league race. I don't know what's going on, but everyone is ghosted for me, which means they're disconnected. But we know it's not like that. We may have disconnected, both of us, but I doubt it.
On my screen it showed Jordy.
Yeah, same.
Jordy. Then it's awesome.
Yeah.
Then it's Throne Road. Then it's Mandela. Then it's Swag. Then it's Mansource. G-Bear. Island, Red,
yeah. Oh, it says Georgie and Nelson have a red cross. Junglub is in AI. Marinella has a red cross. Pretty much everyone. Don't know what happens at all. We may have a restart because I have no idea what's going on. We may have to rejoin, but
And Gangster has said it as well.
Okay. Quite a nice coincidence, seeing that this happened twice now for me. Yesterday and today. Something's not right with this game after the new patch. So as we wait for an invite to the lobby, gonna see if the new lobby is up, but I'm not sure it is. Anyway, it was going pretty well for the top 10. We saw some pretty good battles and some crashes, Vincent and some others. I think from when we saw the McLaren and another car, I can't remember what it was. Once we saw those two cars crash, then it glitched probably, but yeah.
So, is there a lobby open yet?
I'm gonna check. Just can't remember Geordie's gamer tag, so I had checked quickly.
So Gangster has said there was a lobby issue.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, there's an lobby. I'm gonna invite you.
I'm joining anyway. I literally just go through this English and straight to everyone.
Okay.
So is now going to join this thing. So Coda now joins.
Coda joined.
Should we see if Coda wants the commentator with us?
The third technical commentator. Missing both Mercedes cars, and that's all. Geordie, who's here, and Phantom. So, wait for the new section to begin, and for the lobby house to get the lobby right, the starting grid. Let's give you a summary of how the race was going and what was going on, or who may have connected to the stream right now. So the first few laps went great. We saw some quite exciting battles between the front and the back, with Zolsek climbing up to top to P10, from P20 to P10. Merrill not being able to start, and starting having issues at the start, so got off the start in last place. And after that, some pretty good battles. The two Williams going up to 4th and 5th, some collisions, Vincent spinning, pretty much it was all going well. Jordi having a 7-second gap on the top 3, but yeah, that was all pretty much. And now we don't know how it will go again, as we basically reset the whole race, so gonna be way more interesting. No more tire wear for those who qualified on soft, so it's gonna be a new race, completely new. Waiting for the grid to be set correctly, and then we'll go. So, who do you think? What are your predictions for the race? Yeah, both McLarens looked really strong, apart from what happened later on, but that may have been a glitch. No, from where the mess happened, but it was looking pretty. It was going pretty well for the McLarens, and as well as the Williams. Yeah. But some quite strong teams, Aston Martin, Ferrari, Haas. We're gonna see how it turns out to be. Yeah, I think that's the trying to find the grid or setting it. Yeah, I think we're going. Running up right now.
Let's go.
Good luck to everyone for the second time. Hopefully this time we'll be able to finish the race. Or at least 75% of it. Here we go again. 36 laps of racing. Race will last for about 1 hour or less. Good luck to everyone racing out there. Waiting for people to ready up. We'll have to wait for people to ready up then in the race before going, you know, when we are on track. But as we wait, we'll review the starting grid. So Jordan first, followed by Yukage in second, Hungarilla, Henny Island, Skidget, Vizinha, Bonsai, Schwarzkiller, Big Boy, G-Bear, Arson, Young, Thong Globe, Metroller, Lamsauce, Phantom, Rev, Face It Spring, Sortsec, and Vincent.
I still have not loaded on there. Still, those starts in 10 seconds. And it's the formation lap.
Formation lap is underway. Looks like everyone is on softs now, except from Film Globe on mediums. Oh, G-Bet was disqualified. Teammates collide, apparently. Has teammates collided?
Oh, and there's Alpha Romeo that's going through.
Yeah.
Which was red.
Didn't want to wait, apparently. And Fish Spring also got disqualified, colliding with his teammate Metroller.
As the grid now forms up.
So we get back to racing again. Also, for who wanted to be FIA in this league, Bart of Gal, join the server and DM PRL against him. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights, And it's like saying, away we go.
It's a good start.
Hangarilla getting a drive-through. Yeah, he got a drive-through penalty for jumping the stars, but it's Roddy still keeping the lead. Tries to attack him. Oh, and that's a DNF already. What happened? Major safety car. Seems like Vincent DNF on the straight. Lamsos gets 5 seconds. Lots of people getting 5 seconds for colliding with each other. Front wing carbon fiber parts flying on the track. What is going on? Look at the... What? They're holding up each other. I have no clue of what is going on into this grid. They were all slowing down. Is it another... Oh, okay, no. No. Gonna be quite a mystery to know what caused all of that. Yeah, I wonder as well, Goldfish, what went in the grid. I have no clue. Maybe that they had the prompt to let the other person go, to give place, but I don't know. It was just a lot of cars being stuck on truck, and that brought out a safety car. Big boy, Lamsos or mediums. Well, that helps Jordy more now to... It helps the leader more to keep...
That's the wall.
Yeah.
Pass quite well. And the only two cars. Oh no, Williams had 2 cars in top 10.
Yeah, those teams we saw.
Williams and both drive in top 10. They're 67.
We saw in qualifying McLaren looked pretty strong, but Hungarilla for that drive-through, and also for the mayhem of the virtual safety car, he finds himself in last place, 19th, with Vincent being unlucky. The safety car kind of helps Jordy more to keep the lead, because we'll see the top 3 for sure battling now. For softs, I think. Yeah.
As the safety car should be in this lap. But no, safety car is staying out from the lap. Or is it going to be a late safety car to
I reckon he will go in at the next lap.
Safety car will be in next lap then. And it will give you chance for Arsenal to catch up.
Looks like Alson is in AI, disconnected.
Arsenal will catch up, but then he will most probably fall behind as he is in AI mode.
Yeah, AI set on 75%.
5 seconds for the swag. Fabio, 5 seconds. Arsenal, 5 seconds. Gorilla, and
Looks like Yoko Guy and Skidget are giving places to each other. I think his AI glitched.
Yep. So, car should be in this lap. If not, if he's glitched, it must be another restart.
Don't think the safety car will go in once it is out for 5 laps automatically. Meanwhile, Virginia collide with Honey Island, and Honey Island got 5 seconds for colliding with them. Yeah, safety car in this lap.
Yep. So, Arsenal's AI is
And it will be lapped. Oh. This is 5 seconds for Phantom. Playing with Phantom. There's some people pitting as well. Turn 1 we go then. It's 3 wide, almost. It's a yellow flag again. You can tell Jordy's under pressure. Oh. For corner cutting and gaining 2 places illegally. Svizinho sends it on Yukogai and gets the 3rd place, but Yukogai fights back and Skidget spins out of the 2nd place, promoting Yukogai to 2nd as Jordy sets the fastest lap of the race. But what an unlucky moment to spin. As he finds himself in 14th place, almost spins out again, but keeps the car under control. Svizinho now makes it past Yukogai in turn 1. They're still side by side though, as Honey Island and the rep now battle as well. There's a crash in sector 2 for Big Boy. Rep tries to send it on 2 cars as Big Boy now retires. That's a virtual safety car for Big Boy, who retired in sector 2. Wasn't his best races, his best restarts. Well, Visdenio went through him, so I thought, yeah, so it got upgraded to a safety car. Vizinha stays out and gains the lead. G-Bag gets 5 seconds. G-Bag only gets 5 seconds for colliding with Phantom. But yeah, lots of people staying out. So the new order then. Vizinha in the lead, Rap in second, Henny Island in third, Swordskiller in fourth, Yonk in fifth, Zwolsak in sixth, Film Globe in seventh, Merula in eighth, Lemsos in ninth, Skidded in 10th, Geordie on Fresh Softs in 11th, Yukagai on Fresh Mediums in 12th, Hangorilla in 13th, Bonsai on Fresh Softs as well as G-Bear in 14th and 15th, Phantom in 16th, Faces Spring on Fresh Mediums in 17th, and Arson in 18th. But it's an AI who got lapped. Most of the drivers who stayed out are on used softs or mediums, which will come into play for Jordi and Yukagai, who are both close again. So it's all about who gets ahead of who. And Jordi will have to be earlier than Yukagai unless there is damage in the process. Henny now gets 5 seconds for colliding with Swordskiller, I believe. That's still 10 seconds for him. Either Brave or Swordskiller, I'm not sure. It looks like the safety car will be in this lap then. As Swordsak at the end of this lap. Swordsak gets 5 seconds in spinning in the pit lane as he pits. It gets dropped to P17. Arson also pits. Arson will be the person with the most pit stops in this race. And somehow he's still pitting for the same tire compound. All over again. Oh, Vizinha letting Rep pass. Vizinha let Rep take the lead and now collide with him. But no penalty. He wants to get the lead back. Well, Big Boy disconnects CDNF. Safety car is gonna be in this lap. It's gonna be a late call. I'd say so. Yeah, it is a late call. Safety car in this lap. Red will race as Vizinha wants to get the lead back. So he goes alongside him. It's a green flag. Vizinha pits. So that will get him demoted all the way down. Henry Island tries to take the lead now. At the back of the grid though, we have more battles. It's almost 3 wide at the front. In turn 1 we go. Rev and Henry Island side by side for the lead of this Grand Prix. As Rev almost lost it. Still keeps the P2. Georgia ahead in P8. Yukagai following him in P10. Yukagai had struggling a bit in following Geordie as he was close to him, but still 2 places behind him. He has to skies as soon as possible as he makes the place in Lamsos now. Geordie now yeah. Jordi, meanwhile, gets in sixth. Skijut takes advantage of that and gets the plays on him.
Jordy's now
Oh,
off.
and Yokogai, he's out of this Grand Prix.
Oh,
And that's a video safety car as well as Vizdinho. Vizdinho spins out in the S's and retires as well. What a bad restart for those two. What happened to Yokogai? Was having a nice race, and oh my, what has happened? I just went up into the front of the pack and just saw Phantom lose his all-front wing and retire and crash into a car. Juba now cutting the whole of the third corner. What is going on? Yeah. I have no clue. Well, this race will...
has been killed.
Yeah.
This is third safety car.
The first safety car, and I reckon there will be more. But,
Third safety
so, basically what happened, Yokogai spun and crashed out. I don't know how he spun. I think, well, I don't know, if he was an incident, he probably will report it. But after that, Vizdinho crashed out whilst taking him. And then getting back onto the front of the pack as soon as the safety car got deployed, I saw Phantom crashing into someone and just losing his all-front wing and returning from it. Yeah.
So, Red is the last one. Very below. Jordy, one side. Natural. Get up. Any island. Swastika. Mad Gorilla. Gorilla. Face. Scrim. Then it's Arson, who takes up the rear.
It has a 2-minute.
People so far out of this race.
Yeah. Also, let me check. Yeah, Arson is lapped. It has a 2-minute gap on Phasey Spring.
What three runners haven't hit? Everyone else has hit once. Except Arson.
8 times.
Oh. He's in the pits again.
Well, Jordy now got 5 seconds to colliding with Bonsai. Bonsai is behind him. So it's not his fault if he collided with him. Arson, what lap is it right now? Okay, so Arson, I think he's gonna have about 20 plus pit stops made. Skidget now gets 5 seconds for colliding with Swartzek. Yeah, Jordy is behind the top 3 on 11 lap holds, softs and mediums. So he may be able to. Slamsons. Lamsus and Gibet get 5 seconds for colliding. The fact is, it's 36 laps, so by the time this ends, Arson will have 20 plus pit stops done. Someone spun out. Someone spun out at the start, and that's cheap there.
Out of the race.
That's guys with rep. Young takes the lead now. Stays back. Oh, and he collides with him on. Yellow flag at the back again. Source. As he tries to run away from Geordie. Thonglo, meanwhile, third place on 12 lap on mediums. Assassin pits once again. Rep pits. Young keeps the lead as we speak. The IS will be enabled next lap, so Geordie has to go without the IS for one more lap. Yeah. Rep meanwhile pit for some new softs. And Thonglobe managing to keep that third place. Yeah, and Thonglobe, even though he's on mediums. Yeah. Yeah. Even though Thonglobe is on mediums, he's still managing to keep that P3, so that's pretty good. And takes the lead of the Mexican Grand Prix, as both Rebels are in 9th and 10th, I just noticed. So far so good, I'd say. And he sets the fastest lap as well. Yeah, Rep spun, I think. Oh. Well, that was a bad, not his best of races for Rev. From the lead to P12. But there's still some laps to bounce back. Thonglobe is on Young's Re, trying to get the place in him. The eye is wide open for him as he closes up. Really, really close. Thonglobe. Yeah, Thonglobe carrying this train and now pits. Geordie sets an even better lap. Moves Bonsai to P3 as Kidget tries to gain the place on him. The eyes wide open for the Aston Martin driver. The Bonsai has the ass as well. Stays back. Doesn't have much speed. Don't have much speed to get in the place back. But that is not a good race for Rev at all. Skeeter now makes it past Young. Let's see how. Let's see how he gonna. Yeah, he was in the middle of the track. Yeah, Young gets 3 seconds as he gets overtaken by Bonsai, makes contact with him, and Roskiller gains the place almost on Bonsai as well. He's trying to gain 2 places in a row. Can he do it? He gets 3 seconds in the process, but he's still alongside Bonsai. 118.276. Roskiller gains the 3rd place as well, 2 places in a row, as Henny comes behind Bonsai on the straight alongside him, almost make contact. Luckily he didn't. He's ahead of Zorsek as Young pit for fresh mediums, and he then makes a place on Bonsai. Bonsai breaks late. 10 lap pulls off and he's still battling quite well, and he gets 3 seconds as Zorsek tries to gain the place on him as well. Also coming from P20. Also Zorsek. That's quite a great number. However, Zorsek coming starting P20 or P19, he's now in P6. And he's doing a pretty good job. He's gonna have 36 pit stops, I think. Gonna probably have 36 pit stops done by the end. Need to give him an award after this race ends. How? What? He left the league. Oh. Yeah. This, I can officially say this is an elimination race. For real. Like, lots of people getting caught by this track. Bonsai had a spin, but yeah, I think so. But he keeps P6. I think his tires are quite hot. Then roll against place on Hangarilla, who disconnected. Yeah, Hangarilla had a red cross, meaning he disconnected from this race. Zorsek gets 3 seconds. Meanwhile, Hangarilla and Thunglove have gained no penalties this race so far. As Anianen got the place on Zorskiller. Meanwhile, I wanted to point out that Jordi is on 11 lap pool softs, Skidget on 7 lap pool softs, so there's quite of a tire difference in those same compound, the same compound. Yeah, and they probably will go softs. And the gap's reducing.
Yep, slowly going down by.
And I think we'll see more DNFs. Or maybe not. Nelson is going to pit again. I believe he's also going to pit when the race ends. At this rate. His AI doesn't care. He's controlled by Jeff, so yeah.
My man, who's it again? Sorry, the car now. It's 60. What's odds now?
Hard.
Odds.
I suggest he's gonna go on wet next time. Geordie pits. Serves his 5 seconds penalty, 5 second time penalty, but pits for mediums. So go to the end. That promotes Skidget to the lead of the Grand Prix. And he will be close. Monza is coming now, but Geordie is safe in P7. Probably. The top 5 may pit. Has a 5-minute gap to Lamsos. Skidget pits. Well, he probably still hasn't reached the gap of Faces Spring. Skidget pit, as well as Hungorilla. Hungorilla pit. It's gonna be close. Oh yeah, here. Close between Skidget and Geordie though. Skidget is under a second of Geordie, so he has the S. Never mind, he doesn't have the S. And also now made it through Faces Spring. Got 12th. Has been lapped 3 times. Yeah. I say we give him a petition, an award. With the most number of pit stops. Sports Killer Pits. Yeah. Mediums. Looks like everyone is going on mediums. The pits. I've seen someone do that in this league. I've seen someone do that, going on wet on a dry track. The drift challenge. The only people who haven't pit as we speak are the top 3. Yeah, top 3. Henny has an 18-second. Henny, meanwhile, has an 18-second gap on Thunglobe. He may have the gap to keep himself in the top 3. As well as Thunglobe. Top 3 still stays out. Majority is catching up now. Bringing Skidget with them. And Sports Closer. So second, Geordie, both 3 seconds for track limits. Penalties are gonna decide. Skated hard yes on Geordie though. He has. Probably wasn't within a second when he crossed the DRS activation zone. And Skated takes advantage of it. Skiller tries to do it as well. Marola goes into the pits. What a move from Skidded. That was laid out well for the Aston Martin driver. And as we speak, exactly. Geordie meanwhile gets 3 seconds for track limits. That's gonna come into play for them as Geordie loses it on the curb, almost crashes in the barriers, loses only a place. You can tell. Yeah. You can tell Geordie is under pressure, under lots of pressure. Aston pits once again, meanwhile. Geordie now makes the pass. Makes it pass. Small Skiller in third place. She lost it due to a spin. Or loss of traction. Small Skiller gets 3 seconds as he tries to go side by side with him. It goes a bit wide. But Geordie is back into P3. He pits Thong Lobe. Soft. Probably will. He comes out really closely to Hungary Laba. Yeah. P8. His teammate is leading. Yeah, he will pit 26 times by the end of the Grand Prix. Actually, more than 26. Probably. Yeah. Alright. Most bits ups I would go to Allison. Henny also close on the duo. And he now joins the battle. The person who can benefit. Honey Island could, like Honey Island is on 2 lap mediums. He could take a lot of other advantages out of their fresh tires. However, Thermglobe is fresh softs as well. And he's behind as well. Also sets the purple sector 1. Make contact. Really struggling a bit on 7 lap all mediums. As Skidget gets track limits. Well, this is gonna look really interesting now as we approach the final 5 laps. Quite wide there for Swaskula. Someone joined the lobby. Nielen stays back for the moment. He will try again for the move. Henry Allen closes up. Nielen tries to go for the switchback, but stays back. Still close to gain the DRS. And Jordy's gap to Swaskula is increasing. These 9 lap all mediums start having some grip issues. Nielen dropped a lot, meanwhile. Swaskula, someone got things, I don't know who. As Wolves is really close to skid now. The IS wide open for the Haas driver. He goes on the inside at turn 4 to try and gain the lead. He does. Skiddy comes back. And they do. But will for next straight, I believe. He doesn't have the IS. But the gain as well skill against the lead as Jody gets 3 seconds for truck limits. Looks like he does. Looks like, yeah. Oh, Henny spins into the barriers and Skidder has damage. Skidder has part of wing, oh his wing was damaged in that contact. What? What a bad outcome for like the top 3, the whole of top 3. Because it's just a few laps in that. For those 3 mistakes in the top 3, made Jordi gain the first place, the lead of the Grand Prix, back, and he will be the one, unless something happens, to win. Skater decided to stay out, meanwhile. Taniana now tries to make the plays on Skidder. It's the second place. And that's all. Actually, yeah. Skidder comes back at Anley and the island and gets his second place back with wing damage. He gets overtaken again. Lamsos is about to get lapped as he is connected. Yeah, as there is just 1 lap remaining. Though, wait a second, because Jordi has 17 seconds of time penalties. Hanny has only 3. So Hanny But Bonsai,
Bronzo might not.
yeah, he might.
Bronzo might actually have to. Wait, no, wait.
Bonsai, meanwhile, is 4 seconds behind Skidded. He has to get the place to gain the third place, as the Skidded and Bonsai are both on 9 seconds.
Jordan is 14 seconds between him and Henny to win this race.
But the gap between him and Henny is reducing. And he was reducing, but yeah, he's still reducing. Bonsai close to Skidded.
Bonsai.
It's decreasing a lot. Just 2 seconds. Jordi finishes in first, but due to penalties, Henny wins the Mexican Grand Prix. Zolsek P5, Thonglo P5, Young P6, Zolsek P7. Who would you say is the driver of the day?
My driver of the day today would, I'm gonna say it was Henny. Not just because of the one, because of the battle that I saw and also how good, how consistent he was. He only had 3 seconds and most other drivers had, all the other drivers that were racing that weren't in AI mode had been a penalty. He was the only driver that wasn't in AI mode to have the least amount of penalties.
Yeah, I would say it's the same.
And his qualifying was good, put himself in a comfortable position, and from that he went on the race.
I would say the same, to be honest. Or I would say I would give him it to any island or Zolsek or Skidded. Zolsek because went P19 to P7, and Skidded had a really good race. Didn't expect him to be up there. And Honey Islands, of course, as you said, and pretty good battles. But yeah, that's just final results. Yeah. So, Honey Island then in first, followed by Jordi and Skidded in third. Bonsai, Thunglobe. Yeah.
And here is the winner of the race. And there is that place in Skidded.
What's going on?
So, should we start with Skidded?
Yeah. Okay, so welcome. Do you know if Jordi probably can't come as he doesn't have a walking microphone for the party. But yeah, let's start from Skidded then. So, pretty good race from you. We saw this was a chaotic race, even though you qualified 5th. You still had a pretty good race, coming in 3rd after a few spins and crashes. How can you say your qualifying session went, first of all?
Well, actually, that was interesting too, because something did happen in the qualifying session that resulted in me only being 5th, because I had more time on that lap. Issue was that I went into pit for one more run. I wasn't paying attention, hit the wrong button twice, and next thing I knew, I was back out on the same set of tires that I already qualified on. And so I wasn't able to improve because they were already at 8%, and you know, I just, it kind of stuck me where I was, and then it only dragged my tires all the way to about 10%. before, so hopefully we can get that off. And then, had a slight spin, but just barely kept it from the wall with no damage. And then toward the end, we get pretty good hit to the wall, and I was racing with pretty yellow wing damage the rest of the way, the last several laps. But we were able to stick it out and still get a podium somehow.
All right, and
The audio wasn't included for the interviews.
yeah, I know, but we can't make anything about it as the button doesn't appear. By the way, anyway, let's continue. So the race went pretty. Talking about the second, the restart, not the first one, of course. But the start of the race and the first half of the race went pretty good. We saw there were some crashes and the first parts of the DNFs, but you still managed to do pretty well. How would you say the first half of the race went for you?
Any?
Yeah, you.
Yes. So basically, qualifying was pretty good. I really didn't test anything too serious. I just wanted to throw it up front. But as for the race, got a pretty decent start. Just tried to stay out of trouble a little bit. I picked up 10-second penalties in the safety car periods that unfortunately I had to serve during both of my other pit stops. So I feel like it could have been a more controlling win, but I really feel like I had it pretty in control there. I was just trying to manage my temps and my brakes. Almost spun out with like 5 to go. Well, I did spin out and almost hit the wall, but aside from that, it was just a pretty easy race. Just not overstepping any boundaries, trying to stay off of people.
And about the second half of the race, how do you say that went?
So after I decided to go a little bit longer in my second stint of softs, just so I could try to get some clean air. I put some pretty decent laps out. But whenever I ended up serving my second penalty, my strategy was kind of thrown in the mud because I was expecting not to have to serve it, and I was going to have all that clean air in front of me. But it is what it is. Everybody was pretty clean in front of me. I had some really good battles with Jordy there in the end. So it's a good day, and we'll see what happens next week.
Right, finally, who would you say is the driver of the day for today's race?
I need to see the finishing results.
I think we both know our both answers.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go with myself. And Skid's probably going to go with himself.
Agreed.
So,
After the early spin out damage and some penalties, still pulling P3, I would always like to make the argument for myself. But obviously, Henny pulled a great race as well. So it's gonna be a tough one.
I think it was the 3-car domination between Jordy, myself, and Skid. So really never looked back after the second half.
All right, and Skittles, how would you say your race went?
Dude, like I said, man, it was chaotic a little bit. At first it took me a little bit to get back up with Jordy, but we got there pretty quick. We were able to get some really good exits and then just beeline it on the straight. Of course, as Henny will always tell you, I run a rather weird or strange setups. So I had really good straight line speed, and wings being at 610, and we got a little bit of a spin, but we were able to kind of keep together, get it back on track, and get back going. And that safety car really kind of pulled it back into play, the first one. And then Jordy pitted a little early, but that brought him right back over with me. And then the next safety car, I was able to pit, so it kind of made me almost level, a little bit behind him, but almost level with him. And then after, on the first stint, or the second stint, it was just me and him just going at it the whole time. And we were just right behind each other. And toward the end in the last stint, it got really tricky because Swag started to come out of nowhere. I have no idea where he came from, but all of a sudden he's up here. I was able to take Jordy pretty well. We got a little bit. It felt like elbows were kind of out, but it was pretty clean. But once I was able to take Jordy, I'm not sure what happened, but I pulled the 2-second gap on him, and then all of a sudden I noticed Swag is starting to battle with him, and then all of a sudden he started to push into my DRS zone, and just with the pressure, I guess I kind of had a little slip, and he tapped the wall, and I got some pretty bad wing damage, which I had to. He went, and then but he wrecked out, and then Jordy was behind me, and I let him through in the S's because I'm not trying to lose any time, but at the same time I can't holding them up is not going to really help me because they're still going to take me on the first straight they can. And then, Henny was coming up, and we were both in a party, so we were trying to kind of coordinate it to make sure where I wasn't losing time, but he didn't either. And that's where it kind of got tricky toward the end, and I don't know if you guys saw it, where, I let him through, but I ended up getting DRS, and I passed him on the straight toward the end. And it wasn't necessarily intentional, but as we were talking about it, I just could not afford to lose even a second of time. I wasn't trying to hold him up, but I just couldn't afford to lose any time at all because I was going to just fighting to stay on the podium, and I did by just barely. So it was definitely an intense race for sure.
All right, and last two questions. Hani,
Yep.
during the safety cars, we saw there was quite of some crashes and incidents. What can you say about that?
I mean, obviously it's frustrating, but just as long as the penalties end up getting removed, and there's nothing further taken towards it. I mean, it's kind of whatever. And damage, I was lucky enough not to get damage. I know, I think it was Williams got damaged and ended up costing his race in the end. But yeah, I just wish we'd pay a little bit more attention and maybe not go 2 miles an hour through the last corner before we need to go flat out. But it is what it is. Hopefully we'll fix it and find a system, but it's kind of out of my control.
All right, and Skilled, last question to you. We saw at the last few laps there was quite some incidents in the front pack. So Skiller not finishing the race, crashing in the barriers, and then some other people just letting Jordy take the first place, which was that he was demoted to P2 due to penalties. But can you explain us what happened there?
You're talking to me?
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. You're talking about with where he got the podiums? Or I mean the penalties?
Like we saw, there were some incidents. Swarskiller just not finishing the race, crashing in the barriers. In general, some crashes, which let Jordy then take the first place, which was taken by Hanny Island due to penalties. Have you seen anything on that?
I really didn't see much from Jordy. I was more, kind of just focusing on my lane, trying to make sure that I could get through. We were kind of having a rough time, both of us, because we were stuck in the middle of the pack, I believe our second stint. And we were both trying to make it through together because I think we both just knew that we had, more pace. And it was a little bit of a struggle. We got some abrasion there from a couple other drivers, but we made it through, and it was still for the most part clean. With him, I'm not sure where his penalties came from. I figured maybe some safety car or some times or some track limits. Yeah, overall, man, Jordy drove a crazy good race, and he was awesome today. He was on it, absolutely on it.
All right, that will conclude those interviews. Sam, have you got anything to ask Annie and Skilled?
I don't have anything to ask, but all I want to say is congratulations and good luck on next race.
Brand's correct.
Alright, yeah then. Good luck for next race, like Sam said. Can't remember what round
guys.
it is.
No, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Ooh, that was chaotic.
Yeah. So I saw in the final results, Arsenal got 27 pit stops in total. But yeah, let me see. Next round is at France, Le Castellet. Well, that will be quite exciting. That was my first race commentated in this league last season in T2. But yeah, I guess we'll see you all then next week for the French Grand Prix. This was quite a chaotic race. But yeah, see you all in France for the French Grand Prix Round 4 of T2 Season 3.
See you in Le Mans.
Yeah.